Welcome back. Well, former President Jacob Zuma will be allowed to leave his prison cell for the day to attend his brother Michael's funeral. Yesterday, the Department of Correctional Services announced that the former president has been granted compassionate leave. His younger brother, Michael, will be laid to rest today, and the service will be held in eNCA. Michael died earlier this month after battling with an undisclosed illness for several years. The former president is currently serving a 15-month prison term for being in contempt of court. Well, to discuss what compassionate leave actually entails when you're incarcerated, let's speak to legal analyst Sinawo Makangela. Sinawo, thank you for joining us again this morning. How does one apply for compassionate leave, and what are some of the grounds one could apply for?
Thank you. Good morning, Annika. Good morning to the viewers at home. Well, the compassionate leave is regulated by the Correctional Services Act 111 of 1998. So any inmate, any sentenced inmate is eligible to apply, and that application can be made to the National Commissioner, who then applied his mind as guided by the Act, considering, of course, the personal circumstances of each inmate in order for him to make his mind whether the person should be eligible or not. So probably in this case, because it says it's the compassionate leave, then there must be something that makes the National Commissioner to feel that compassion in order for him to grant the offender that leave. And of course, when the National Commissioner grants the leave, it has the conditions. It could be the issue of time to say you are expected to attend, to leave the prison between these hours and be back. You are not expected to have interactions with people there. You don't mix with anyone. You just go in there, you observe the service, and then after the service has been finalized, you go back. And the head, as I say, probably the head of the center, through the directive of the National Commissioner, has to arrange proper security to ensure that when the time has arrived for the offender to be brought back, there are no difficulties. That offender is brought back to the center.
Sinawo, we do understand that when a prisoner is granted compassionate leave, such as for a funeral, he will be allowed to attend a suit or whatever civilian clothes he or she chooses. Yes. I presume that it's for a very short period of time.
Yes, it is. It is. Hence I say, when the National Commissioner grants it, he puts those conditions as he may deem it necessary for that particular prisoner. Remember, each person has got his or her own circumstances. Hence, it's not even uniform. It's not even there for the asking. It does not mean by the mere fact that you apply, you are then entitled. You must advance the case. You must show the compassion. As you can see, in most cases, it's granted for people to attend funerals of the very close relatives. It's either the mother, the father, it could be the relative. Let's say in this case, probably one of the grounds that the former president has granted as advanced is that I could not attend my parents' funerals. I was incarcerated in Robben Island. At the time, there was no Correctional Services Act of 98. There was no constitution. Now things have changed now. This is the situation. This is my brother. I would love to pay my last respect to the brother. So something that would be convincing to the national head. And as I say, it then puts the conditions to say, there must be this security. You must live between these hours. You must be back to the center. You don't mix with the people there. You only attend the service. There is no family gathering that you are going to attend. There is no meeting that you are going to address. Whatever, let's say for a moment, there are supporters that are waiting for him outside. The National Commissioner can say, you don't address any gathering. You just go there, you attend the funeral, you observe these conditions that I'm putting to you, and then you come back to the center.
I suppose it must be a little bit of a security concern considering the unrest and violence that we saw last week. But we must remember, of course, Sinawo, that Jacob Zuma is a low-risk prisoner. He's in prison for contempt, not a serious crime such as murder, rape, child abuse, etc.
Yes. Well, of course, that's one of the issues that, of course, the National Commissioner, when he was granting this leave, he had to consider. I assume that he had some interactions with the police to ensure that there is no interruption of this process so that it does not come back to bite him later to say, oh, you ought to have foreseen this, you ought to have done that and this to ensure that there is no interruption in the process. As they grant him, it is in everybody's knowledge that he has some supporters, but with all that being said, security measures must be put in place to ensure that he is taken to the funeral and brought back at the time the National Commissioner has determined.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. Sinawo Makangela, that was an analyst attorney speaking to us from the Eastern Cape. Tata, they're talking about the compassionate leave granted to Jacob Zuma. And I'd be very interested to see whether those motorcades that some of his supporters have promised along the route are in fact going to be allowed to gather today. I should think there'll be some security concerns.